how many men do you think stray away from commitment, from marriage, from fatherhood, right? Because they're afraid of messing it up. And I'm not talking about like people who haven't had children yet. I'm talking about absent fathers afraid to mess it up, people in relationships but emotionally unavailable because they're afraid to mess it up. Like, do you think that masculinity and the way that men have been projected onto, as far as the roles that they should play, has played a part in men really feeling like I'd rather not do it at all or not show up than to mess it up?
Absolutely. It's difficult to defeat an enemy that has taken shelter in your mind.
Ooh.
And for most men, their greatest enemy is themselves.
Hmm.
Uh, and the reason is because, to be honest, in this culture of punishment that we have in our society, we are constantly told there's going to be a penalty if we mess up, right?
Hmm.
There's going to be a price to pay if we mess up. And when it comes to the game of life, messing up somebody else's life, it's really not nothing any man really wants to do, to be honest. Not unless you just straight trife. If you just straight trife, okay,
Well,
that's
whatever,
not what
you
we
be all
talking.
right.
Right, that's not what we talking about. But for most men, we don't want to mess it up, right? We don't want to ruin anybody's life, and we don't have templates for what success looks like as a husband and a father, and we don't know. Now, to some degree, that excuse that I don't know what it means to be a husband or a father is kind of a cop out
Mm,
because because you know, regardless of if you had an example of a good one or not, you still got to do it yourself,
yeah.
right? You still have to do it yourself. So, but to answer your question, yes, most of us are afraid, and the problem is we can't say it to y'all because we have to beat our chest and say, I'm a man. But to be honest, I'm really afraid that I'm going to ruin this for us, that I'm really going to just take your life down, that I'm going to make a catastrophic mistake and not be a good father. Um, and that's a frightening thing. And so, what would it look like if men were just able to say, in this culture, I'm scared. I'm scared. And what I just said, though it might not sound profound to anybody, it's really, really deep and powerful. If men could have space to say, I'm scared because I don't know what the heck I'm doing. And that's most men.
Okay, so this begs the question, if a child believes in their father, if a woman believes in her man, even though he feels like he could mess it up, why isn't the belief in them enough to bring out the greatness in them? Or does that just add more pressure?
It adds more pressure, right? And
Really?
yeah, so so listen, it's going to add more pressure because again, now, okay, that's more elevation for me to worry about the
Mm,
the distance of the fall. If I don't meet these set of expectations, then I'm going to let everybody down. Now, again, that's work that we have to do on our own as men to really process that for ourselves and do that work on our journeys. But we also need a place to lay our heads to have that conversation about that journey, right? Where we can just be vulnerable, where there is no expectation, where you don't even have to say, I believe in you. It's just a matter of, can I be just afraid in this space for a moment without any help or support of fixing it or resolving it, but just to be able to say, I don't know if I can do this.